So in this Elden Ring video, we'll be covering NEPHELI LOUX and Kenneth Haight's questline, as well as the rewards you'll get going through these, and to top it off, some valuables you won't want to miss along the way. Doing these quests will reward us greatly, however it's going to take a while to complete them. We'll be covering what to do step by step, as well as letting the dialogue play out for the lore. We'll also even be showing how to defeat certain bosses we'll have to take on easily to get through this. And to top it off, we'll be covering some solutions too for some parts that you might get stuck on during the quest lines to hopefully help you get through these without having any trouble. And please feel free to use the timestamps that are provided in this video to help navigate you through it, because I know it is a long one. But the reason why is because it's jam-packed with a lot of information. Anyways, let's go and get into all of this. Consider leaving a like if you do find this kind of content enjoyable. The support is greatly appreciated because it does take a lot of time to compile all this information into one video. But yeah, anyways, first things first, we're going to have to find and talk to NEPHELI at Stormveil Castle. You can find her right before you fight Godrick the Grafted. From the secluded cell here, past these enemies on the stairs, you'll be able to find her inside of here. She'll be right beside one of her fallen comrades. And here's what she'll say.
Be proud. You were a fine warrior. Your only mistake was your choice of master. Let the winds lift you to a higher place. Well, who do we have here? Tarnished, are you? Clearly not one of Godrick's lot. I am NEPHELI LOUX, tarnished and warrior like you. I'm here by decree of my father. How utterly repellent this is. This grafting of Godrick's ill befits a lord. He's tainted the very winds.
So yeah, she'll have that to say about Godrick the Grafted, and here's what she'll say if you go to talk to her again.
If you intend to challenge Godrick, I ask you call upon me. The winds run foul with his deeds. I'm certain father would permit me aid the fight.
So she wants us to call upon her to help us take out Godrick the Grafted, which is what we can do. We can actually summon her to help us fight this guy, which she is pretty handy for the fight and a great distraction. But yeah, lastly, here's what she'll say when we go to talk to her again.
Apologies, but I've idled long enough. As fellow tarnished, we must each follow our own guidance, down whatever road takes us to the throne of Elden Lord.
Okay, so once you finish talking to her here, you now just want to go and take on Godrick the Grafted, which is nearby where we found her. And don't forget the 4 smithing stones you could find right here too, by the way. Those could be useful. But yeah, keep in mind you are able to summon her to help you with the fight. It's not necessary though to continue her questline. It's something optional you can do. So if you don't want her to help you fight Godrick, you don't have to summon her to progress through her questline. But if you do want to summon her, her summon sign will be right before you fight Godrick here. And while she's here helping you out against Godrick, you'll still be able to summon something else as well to help out. So yeah, basically you just have 2 summons now helping you against this guy. Anyways, once you do officially beat him, the next step will be to rest at the site of grace here before progressing any further. Also, after you do rest at the site of grace, the Gatekeeper Gostoc will appear here, kicking Godrick's head. And be sure to not take out this guy, because he will sell us something really special here after we get through NEPHELI's questline. Keep in mind though, if you do take him out, or you have in the past, you'll still be able to complete her questline. However, you won't be able to buy the special thing from him, which, as you can see, is an Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. This will reinforce armaments to plus 25. Yeah. These are insane. Anyways, after you rest at the site of grace here, now we have to go over to the Roundtable hold to progress NEPHELI's questline. Once you get over here, you can find NEPHELI over by Gideon the All-Knowing's room, which is her adoptive father. Now, if she isn't located right here when you get over to the Roundtable hold, that's because you haven't talked to Gideon and got him inside of his room yet. And how you do that is just by simply talking to him in the main room. He'll be located right here next to this statue. And once you talk to him, all you'll have to do is just rest and then pass time at this site of grace, and then he should appear over in his room. And you'll also be able to find NEPHELI now over by this little table here, a little past his room. So yeah, here's what she'll say when you go to talk to her here.
You again. I thought you'd receive a summons to the round table. NEPHELI LOUX. We met at Stormveil. I'm glad to see you here. I have something for you. I found it in Godrick's grafting grounds. You defeated him. You should have it. Make good use of it. I don't intend to make a habit of scavenging corpses.
So yeah, she'll give you the Arsenal Charm Talisman, and what this does is raises maximum equipment load, as you can see. But after you receive this, be sure to continue talking to her here until she mentions it's about time for her to head off.
Ah, yes. I wonder if you've met my foster father. He's in his study. The room entry's guarding just over there. If you haven't already, I advise you introduce yourself. Father is leader of the Roundtable. I'm sure talking to him will be worth your while. It's about time I headed off. I'll see you again, warrior, should the fates deign it.
So yeah, as you heard, she mentions about her foster father, Gideon, and if you actually go and talk to him after hearing that dialogue from her, he'll have some things to say about NEPHELI. Check this out.
You. What is it? I understand you've been speaking to NEPHELI. She's my daughter. I took her in when she lost the guidance of grace. Though a mere axe-wielding barbarian, her youthful credulity suited my purposes. So I put her to work. Do not hesitate to employ her. Should her services benefit you, despite her looks, she is more than capable in the press of battle.
So yeah, that's what he has to say about her. Anyways, now we'll have to head over to the Village of Albinaurics and speak to NEPHELI again. She'll be located underneath the stone bridge that leads up to the village. I'll go ahead and show you how to get over to the Village of Albinaurics, starting from an easy site of grace to discover, just to make sure everyone is able to get over there that's watching this with no problem, just because finding the place can be kind of tricky. So yeah, starting from this site of grace here at the ruins, you just want to run past these ruins right here, and you'll see off in the distance a mountain with a huge opening in it. Just head toward that. And when you get over here, you'll just want to go inside the mountain, and you can actually find the Village of Albinaurics in here. Just head this way, past this giant crab, and up this hill will be the village. You can find NEPHELI underneath this stone bridge when going up this hill. And here's what she'll say when you go to talk to her here.
Oh, it's you. Well, what do you make of it? What's happened to this village? I witnessed a sight much the same in my infancy. The oppression of the weak. Murder and pillage unchecked. A waking nightmare made by men.
So yeah, that's what she'll say. She'll comment about, what happened here. And I mean, you can just tell something horrific happened here because of all these bodies that are surrounding her. Anyways, here's what she'll say when you go to talk to her again.
But this time, I'm a woman grown. And though the suffering cannot be undone, I can still mete out justice. Justice to the oppressors. Let the scars I carve remind them. I am NEPHELI Lou, warrior. So she wants to get justice for the people who were slaughtered here at this village. And how we can do that is by going over this stone bridge that she's underneath. We can get up this bridge just by continuing to head up this hill. Which, by the way, when heading up to the bridge, be sure to grab this site of grace right here at the Village of Albinaurics. Anyways, yeah, from this side of grace, you just have to head up this hill and then take a left. It's pretty straightforward to get over to the bridge. I do recommend taking out the enemies on this bridge, just so they're not bothersome at all during the fight, or none of your summons try to go after them instead of the boss over here. But yeah, when you get across this, you'll actually be able to summon NEPHELI right here before the boss fight. She wants to take out the Omenkiller over here to help get justice for the village. I do recommend, as a little strategy against this guy, before summoning her, to drop down off the cliff over here and take on these hounds before you go and fight him, because they can be really distracting when trying to go up against this boss. Anyways, once you take them out, just run past the boss and head back up to NEPHELI's summon sign to summon her. Now, I will mention, you don't have to technically summon her to progress through her quest line. It is optional to summon her, so yeah, keep that in mind. However, I will mention she has a lot of help in battle against him. As you can see here, she can do a lot of damage. And not to mention, you can still summon whatever too as well. So you're basically just having two summons on the battlefield against the boss yet again. Anyways, once you take out this guy, NEPHELI will return to her world, and you will receive the Crucible Knot Talisman. This thing reduces damage and impact of headshots. So yeah, pretty useful. Anyways, after this guy, to progress through her questline, you'll then just have to head back to the Roundtable Hold and head down the stairs over here past the blacksmith master Hewg. She'll be down here, and here's what she'll say when you go to talk to her. Ah, you. Please, leave me be. It's pathetic, I know, but I need to think.
So yeah, she'll say that. Anyways, now we'll have to head to her foster father, Gideon, and talk to him about her. Here's what he'll say.
You. What is it? You've already heard. Indeed. It seemed the whelp harbored suspicions, so I had no further use for her. Honestly, what's a man to do? A determined plebeian is more wicked than an omen horn, quite frankly. I suspect that's just what the Queen wants. A dose of ambition to incite the tarnished.
So yeah, now after talking to him, we'll now just have to head back down to her and tell her that you heard from Gideon.
You. Please, leave me be. It's pathetic, I know, but I need to think.
As you can see, we'll get the option to say, now I heard from Gideon. And here's what she'll say when we tell her.
So you know already, do you? Right. It's true. My father cast me out for indulging my emotions, forgetting the mission, punishment for offing his pawns. Lord Gideon has offered me guidance all my life. I would have done anything for him, to place him on the throne of Elden Lord. And yet though it was not my intent, I betrayed him. And I can no longer trust in Father. To think he'd order his men to enact such tragedy. Where is the justice he purports in that? He once told me that if he became Elden Lord, he would never allow the downtrodden to be cheated ever again. Was he simply lying to me? No. How could I say that? Father has always given me his guidance. And now, I've lost it.
So yeah, if you fully exhaust her dialogue down here, you'll find out that she is pretty torn up over how her father decided to react over her actions. Which, I mean, she has the right to be torn up about it because she's literally being cast out, just thrown to the side by someone she calls father. Definitely sad. But yeah, anyways, to progress further in her questline, we'll now have to head over to the Four Belfries, which is located over by Raya Lucaria. You can actually find the foot of the Four Belfries site of grace right up this hill here. As you can see, here is where it's exactly located at on the map. Once again, kind of near Raya Lucaria. So yeah, we're going to be heading from here up to the Four Belfries, which is located right here. And the reason why we're coming up here is because we have to go to a specific area and get the Stormhawk King for NEPHELI. This is how we're going to be able to get further in her questline. However, it is kind of tricky to get the Stormhawk King because it's located at where we first started in Elden Ring. And how we get over there is by heading up to the top of here and opening up this chest and grabbing this imbued sword key. And what you want to do is use this sword key on this statue over here next to this teleporter. This will activate this teleporter on this platform, and it'll take you to where you first started at, otherwise known as the Chapel of Anticipation. So yeah, this is a way that you are able to fight the Grafted Scion, you know, the tutorial boss again, from the very beginning. But yeah, we're going to have to take out this guy in order to get what NEPHELI is wanting, which once again is the Stormhawk King. It's actually right by where we started at. But once you take out this boss here, you will be rewarded, just like if you defeat him in the very beginning, the Ornamental Straight Sword and the Golden Beast Crest Shield, as well as 3,200 runes. A little past this guy, if you go across this bridge and head up these stairs, and then take a right, and then instead of going inside the chapel up here, go over here and head through this door. This will lead up to where the Stormhawk King is located at. So yeah. You'll now be able to return to NEPHELI and give her this to progress her questline. But before you head back to her, be sure to go through this door right up here, which this is above where we first spawned in the very beginning of the game. Kind of crazy. But yeah, inside this chest here, we can find a summon called the Stormhawk Deenh. As you can see, you can summon a giant Hulk by using this thing. It's pretty beneficial to have around, and to top it off, it can give you around a 10% damage buff. As you can see, this icon right here will appear right underneath your stamina bar. And not to mention, if you go to inspect this summon, the description of it is pretty interesting. As you can see, the description for this summon reads, "Spirit of a fierce hawk that faithfully rendered lifelong service to the old king of Stormveil long ago, when the true storm raged. Its cries emboldened its fellows in battle, and the tempestuous winds that encircle it shred through foes." So that's some pretty neat lore that we learn over this summon too. We learned that this used to be the Stormveil King's companion. Pretty awesome. But yeah, now we have to go and return the Stormhawk King to NEPHELI. And keep in mind, if you go to NEPHELI and nothing pops up after her dialogue over her father, as you see, if it just states leave, that is because you haven't got Roderika next to the blacksmith. Roderika is the one that deals with the spirit summons. And in order to get her over at this place, we're going to have to first find her at the Stormhill Shack, which is located right over here, a little past the gate front side of Grace. It's a place that you'll encounter right before you go to Stormveil Castle. Yeah, it should be located right here inside this shack, and all you'll have to do is exhaust her dialogue here. And once you exhaust her dialogue here, you will get the sitting sideways gesture and the jellyfish summon, which the jellyfish summon is really beneficial to have early game. Anyways, after you exhaust her dialogue here, next time you go to Roundtable Hold, she'll be located in the main room near this fireplace. So just talk to her here, and then you'll have to go and talk to the blacksmith about her. As you can see, there will be an option that you can choose that states about Roderika. Just go ahead and choose this option, and then after you've talked to him about her, you're going to have to go and talk to Roderika again. This time when you go to speak to her, you'll get an option to let her know what the blacksmith said. So go ahead and choose this, and then after you say this to her, you're going to have to go back to the blacksmith one more time and let him know about what Roderika was saying, which she wants him to teach her spirit tuning, and he does. Anyways, once you get done talking to him, all you have to do now is go to the side of Grace here and rest, and once you spawn back in, she should be over here next to Master Hewg. She'll be able to upgrade your spirit summons now. And I will mention, if you go back over to the Stormhill Shack where you found her at, you will find a golden seed laying on the ground where she was, so don't forget to get that. That could come in handy. Anyways, once Roderika is over here next to the blacksmith, you'll now be able to go down to NEPHELI and progress her questline by giving her the Stormhawk King. Here's what she'll say when you give her it.
Is that ash? I can smell the ancient storm in it. My thanks. I'll gladly take it.
Once you give her it, be sure to exhaust her dialogue fully here. Here's what she'll also say after giving her the Stormhawk King.
I'm not like Roderika. I don't feel the presence of spirits, let alone see them. Still, this ash, it reminds me of my first hawk. Thank you. In this ash, I can smell the ancient storm. It reminds me of my first hawk.
Anyway, so yeah, that is NEPHELI's questline for now. Now we have to go and do Kenneth Haight's questline, which he could be found over here next to the third church of Marika. From the third church here, Kenneth will be located nearby on top of these ruins. You'll be able to hear him when you start to get close. And here's what he'll say when you go to talk to him.
Hello? Is anybody there? Someone who might be interested in rescuing the great Kenneth Haight, servant to the true order and celebrated repudiator of the false. Oh, Erdtree, grant me succor. Ah, you've come to lend me your aid, have you? Well, that's very kind, but, no. No, the help is very much appreciated, even from a tarnished. Despite appearances, nobility is no prerequisite to serving the true order. You might have heard of me, Kenneth Haight. Next in line is the rightful ruler of Limgrave, young Tarnished. I would have a boon of you. I want you to take back my fort. It lies to the south, beyond the Mistwood. A knight commander from Stormveil took it. A fool, and plumb mad to boot. Simply obsessed with blood. What are you waiting for? A kiss goodbye? My fort lies to the south, beyond the Mistwood. Take it back for me. Oh, I see. You wish to know the reward. Fret not. The great Kenneth Height is known for his considerable largesse. The celebrations will be lavish indeed upon the dawn of my fort's retrieval. Yes, now allow me to furnish you with a little advice. I would take great care to avoid Godrick's tarnished hunts were I in your shoes. That depraved lot are obsessed with sacrificing tarnished like you for the sake of grafting. Honestly, Godrick's nothing more than a jumped-up country bumpkin. Lord? Oh, don't make me laugh. First, he hid himself amongst the womenfolk to flee the capital, then hid from Radahn in that castle. Then he insulted Malenia, lost to her in battle, only to lick her boots rather than die like a man. Has he no shame, the big girl's blouse? And to think, he's the blood of Godfrey, last of the golden lineage, though you almost wouldn't know it to look at him. Yeah, I almost feel sorry for the chap the more I think of it.
So yeah, that's what he'll say. He'll give us a little bit more information over the background of Godrick the Grafted, and he'll mention how he's needing help taking back Fort Height, which Fort Height is located right here from where he's located at. Not too far. We're actually going to have to head over here to the top of it and take out this knight. Yeah, this guy that's located right up here. This will actually be where Kenneth appears at when we come back here. Once you take him out, you will receive the Ash of War Bloody Slash, and now you'll just have to return back to Kenneth and let him know. Here's what he says when we go back and talk to him.
I've been waiting for you with bated breath. Did you manage to recapture my fort? Oh, excellent news. Just wonderful. And the knight's dead to boot. Well done, my friend. Well done indeed. I knew I was right to trust you. Now, here's your reward, as promised. Go ahead. It's all yours.
So yeah, as you can see, once we do that, he will give us the Erdsteel Dagger, which here are the stats on it. It's going to require 7 strength, 12 dexterity, and 14 faith to use properly. And the description for it, when you go to inspect it, is pretty informative. It states an Erdsteel dagger with a grass crest engraved upon its blade, carried by the Erd Tree royalty for self-defense in times of peace. Though forged to a high standard, the weapon is difficult to wield. Attack power also scales with faith. That's awesome to know that the attack power scales with your faith. And it comes with a neat skill too called Quick Step. As you see, the description for this reads, skill prized by the crafty and fleet of foot. Perform a quick step maneuver that allows for circling around lock-on targets. So yeah, a solid dagger to get your hands on, especially if you use a faith build with your character. But yeah, anyways, once you talk to him and get this, when you go back over to Fort Height, you'll find him where you took out the knight up here. And here's what he'll say when you go to talk to him.
You, is it? I suppose you must have seen it by now, yes. The sorry state of my fort. Oh, indeed, it is a foul fate for a land to be without a ruler. And one must be found, with haste, and not that awful Godrick, but a true and stalwart lord of the proper lineage to take the reins of Limgrave. I'm sorry to have lifted your hopes, but I haven't the authority to raise you to knighthood as things stand. The great Kenneth Height issues his sincerest apology. But now, I must begin my search post-haste for a true and stalwart lord of the proper lineage to take the reins of Limgrave.
So yeah, that's what he says. And the new Limgrave ruler will be NEPHELI. But in order to progress her quest line, we're actually going to have to defeat Morgott the Omen King that's located way up here in Leyndell at the Elden throne. You're going to have to take the lift of Dectus to get up to where Leyndell is located at. And in case you don't know how to enter this place, as you can see here on the map, you're going to have to take this path around over to the capital rampart. You'll encounter a boss fight here that you'll have to take on before you enter. Which, in case you need a bit of assistance with this boss to get into Leyndell to go and fight Morgott the Omen King, there is a cheese that you can do that makes this boss really easy, as well as Morgott too. First off, to cheese this guy to get into Leyndell, all you're going to need is the Poison Mist, which you're going to need this as well against Morgott, so definitely go and pick this up. It's really easy to grab. All you're going to have to do is go over here around where my waypoint is in the woods, right next to the Castle Morn Rampart site of grace. Over here you'll find this thing that you could take out, and when you do take it out you'll get the poison mist incantation. So once you have this, to be able to use it you'll need a finger seal, and you can get one of those by going over to the Roundtable hold and purchasing it from the Twin Maiden Husk. As you can see, you could buy it for 800 runes. Anyways, now once you got these, you'll be able to cheese the Tree Sentinel that you need to take out to enter Leyndell. This tactic is awesome. All you have to do is just sneak around him, and when you're over here behind him, you'll just have to release the poison mist on him. Now, I do recommend to stock on FP potions just in case you may need some more FP, but yeah, this is a simple strategy to take him out easily. The poison mist will slowly but surely drain his health until he's defeated. Anyways, when you eventually get to Morgott the Omen King here in Leyndell, to cheese him, it's going to work the same way with the poison mist. However, you're going to need one other item, and that is Margit's Shackle. This will freeze Morgott, so you'll be able to easily defeat him with no problems to get to the end of NEPHELI's questline. All you'll have to do to get this is head over to Patches, which this guy is located over here at Murkwater Cave, right by the first step. When you first come over here, you'll have to take on Bloody Finger Nereus to gain access to the cave. But yeah, once you're in here, to find Patches, a little past the site of grace, you'll come to this opening with some enemies, and you'll just have to take this hidden path over here to the right. This way will lead to where Patches is located at. I will mention your first time coming here though, you will have a battle with him. The battle begins after you take what's inside of his chest here in the cave. And yeah, once you get him low enough, he will give up, and he will open up a shop here if you choose to forgive and forget. Once you choose that and then exhaust the dialogue, when you return here, he'll have the shop opened up with some really valuable goods. But what we want for this cheese specifically is Margit's Shackle. As you can see, it's going to cost 5,000 runes from him. But yeah, that's how you get it. And once you have it, before going to where you actually fight him at the Elden throne, you just want to simply use the shackle 3 times outside of the door. And once you do that, once you enter where you fight him at, as you can see, he will be frozen. Now from here, you just want to simply go up to him and then just do the poison mist trick again. Just use it until it starts ticking away damage on him, and then just wait it out until it stops, and then use the poison mist again and rinse and repeat until he's dead. I recommend once again to stock on FP potions before coming in here and doing this. And be sure to not attack him with any weapons, because for some reason that'll make him be not frozen anymore and he'll start attacking you. So yeah, just stick with this poison mist method on him. Anyways, once you got this guy defeated, you'll then just have to rest at the site of grace here. And once you do that, now you'll be able to go to the finale of NEPHELI's questline, which she will become the ruler of Limgrave. Actually, she'll be grouped up with Gostoc and Kenneth Haight. You'll be able to find them all located at Stormveil Castle, around where you fought Godrick the Grafted. And I will mention, if you come here and Gostoc is still outside kicking Godrick's head, then that means NEPHELI and Kenneth won't be over here yet. Which this had me a little worried at first, but all I had to do was rest at the site of grace after talking to him, and as you can see, he just disappeared. So yeah, try to do that if Gostoc is still outside. It fixed the problem for me. But yeah, anyways, as you can see, you can find NEPHELI as well as Kenneth Haight and Gostoc up here in this area of Stormveil Castle. As you can see, their names will now be located over here as well. NEPHELI, Kenneth Haight, and Gatekeeper Gostoc. And keep in mind, if you do give NEPHELI Celavis's potion, this will make it so she won't be over here as well. Actually, on this playthrough, I didn't talk to Celavis at all, and I was still able to get through NEPHELI's questline. As you can see, here's proof. I haven't even went over to the area where him and Ronnie's located at. But if you do encounter Celavis over here, he'll give you a quest where you'll have a choice to give NEPHELI a potion, and if you do that, it'll lock you out of her quest. So yeah, that's another reason why she won't show up here at Stormveil Castle either. So keep that in mind. Anyways, here's what all NEPHELI will say when you go to talk to her here.
It's been some time. I must thank you for your aid. I told Father I would be with him no longer. I remembered the vow I took when I first became a warrior, so many moons ago. This land is much like the one from which I hail. I will call upon the storm to drive away the foulness that has settled on the winds. Again, I am NEPHELI Lou, warrior. Some call me by the title of Lady, but I remain the same woman underneath, though I have now abandoned my former guidance. I cannot express how much you've helped me. Should you become Elden Lord, I would gladly lighten your burden. Farewell, fellow warrior. I will remain to summon the storm, but your guidance and your fight surely lie elsewhere.
So yeah, that's what NEPHELI will say when you fully exhaust her dialogue here for the finale. And I will mention she will also help you against Godfrey. And I'm not talking about him as this form. I'm talking about, the other one after this. Yeah, she can aid you in battle against him if you did finish her quest line. I'm just not far enough on this character to show you that she can actually help you. But I just wanted to mention it just for your information. And yeah, as you saw also, she'll give you an ancient dragon smithing stone. But yeah, you can also get another one from Gostoc. But before I go ahead and show you getting that from him, I want to also show you what all Kenneth Height says here.
Ah, nice to see you after so long. Safe and sound, I take it, yes? Good. Ah, quite. I have indeed selected a new ruler. Lady NEPHELI is strong and just, worthy of the burden of Limgrave's lineage. Such is the sincere opinion of Kenneth Height, no less. For the time being, I share command of the castle with my lady, but I plan on returning to my fort afterwards, at which time I can fulfill my old promise by raising you to the glory of knighthood. I hope it is just as wonderful as you imagine.
So yeah, that's what he says. He lets us know that he chose NEPHELI as the new ruler. Anyways, lastly, here's what Gostoc the Gatekeeper will say when you talk to him here.
Ah, you is it? Haven't seen your mug in quite some time. As you can see, I'm the new lady's attendant. Freedom was worth squat. Besides, I like it round here. Lady NEPHELI's still fair of heart and countenance. Still, I have the lady's trust, so I can loot all the corpses I like. I'll let you take a look at the goods if you fancy.
So yeah, he'll have that to say. And he'll be selling an ancient dragon smithing stone too for 20k, which these are extraordinarily rare and beneficial, so it's definitely worth the 20k runes. As you can see, they'll reinforce your armaments to plus 25. But yeah, I guess that's our wrapping up this comprehensive video over these quest lines. Hopefully you all found this enjoyable and it's able to help you out in some kind of way. I'm out of here, everyone. As always, thanks for taking the time, watching and listening. Until next time, peace.